The South Carolina Gamecocks are headed to the Elite Eight for the first time in program history, and they will be facing a very familiar opponent in the Florida Gators, as the Gators defeated Wisconsin by a final score of 84-83 off of a last-second buzzer-beater shot in overtime.
That's right, Ben. The Gamecocks and the Gators will be facing off for the third time this season. They've already faced twice in the regular season, with each team winning on its home court. Ben, what were some of your takeaways from those two games?
My biggest takeaways from those two games is that both defenses are great. However, the biggest difference in those two matchups was that in the first matchup, Florida shot an unbelievably rough 0 for 17 from behind the arc. However, in that second matchup, they were able to shoot a 9 for 19 from three-point lane, and that's how they were really able to pull away from the Gamecocks in Gainesville.
That's right, Ben. And in the first game, Kevon Allen was limited to just one total point, and in the second, he scored 26. So the Gamecocks are going to have to make sure they really buckle down on defending Allen. Another thing they're going to have to focus on are their free throws. Now, they're doing a better job at getting to the line, drawing that contact, and making the shots, but they're going to have to keep up, as we saw last night with Wisconsin and Florida, because free throws really make the difference.
Exactly. In the tournament, the free throws is really what is critical. Now, another important thing for the Gamecocks to do is attack the basket. Chris Silver has done a great job of this so far. I've been calling him the beast from underneath. He's been a havoc on the offensive glass. He's been working guys like Motley or like Grayson Allen or Jason Tatum of Duke so far in this tournament. He's been phenomenal, but also PJ Dozier and Sindarius Thornwell are going to need to attack the basket to open up that three-point shot and that mid-range game. Now let's hear what the Gamecocks have to say about their upcoming matchup.
It's just a blessing. I think it's great for everyone individually, but as well as for this program, for the state, for the fans that come out, from South Carolina all the way to New York to support us. It's great for everyone.
We got to be better on the ball screen coverage. We weren't real good on ball screen coverage last time. That helped them get to the rack, and then if we stopped them from getting to the rack, they helped them get open threes on kickouts. So we got to be much better on ball screen coverage.
I feel like everyone on our team could play, and everyone on their team could play. It's March. We both not here for no reason. We both teams coming to win, and we just gonna try to come out there and give it our all. And yeah.
Don't worry at all, especially because we know that we can get better every day. So, they may have seen us play defense before, but we worked on a few things. We've all gotten better when it comes to playing defense. So we're going to be prepared. It's a different stage, it's a different mentality. It's a new game. We can't rely on the fact that we beat them once and they beat us once.
It means a lot, just because I've been playing good all season. I feel like I had a pretty solid career here at South Carolina, and just to finally start getting the recognition that I feel like I work hard for and our team work hard for. It just feels good.
Yeah, thanks, guys. So that epic buzzer beater win propelled Florida to their 7th Elite Eight since 2006. And unlike the Gamecocks, they have a lot of experience in these high-pressure games that will help them out. So, Adam, what can you tell us about the experience Florida has in these types of games?
Yeah, Casey Hill was the only Gator left from that 2014 Final Four run, but he got to play with guys like Patrick Young and Scotty Wilbekin, who taught him how to stay in the moment in games like this. He's the only one left, like I said, but the Gators have plenty of experience. Devin Robinson's a junior. We've got Justin Leon, a senior. Canyon Barry, a fifth-year senior who played 4 years at College of Charleston. And those guys have plenty of experience.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, Barry, who is the SEC Sixth Man of the Year this year. So, he did not start in any games this year, but he proved that he can be valuable off the bench. The Gators have phenomenal depth off that bench, something that the Gamecocks have a little similar, but not as strong. And also Chris Chiozza, who made that epic buzzer beater in Friday night's game, he also has been phenomenal off the bench. And in Friday night's game, he showed phenomenal speed as well. He's a very fast player, and he got across the entire court in 3 seconds to make that shot. So there's another thing that's working well for the Gators.
Yeah, Chris Chiozza is one of the fastest players in the SEC, and Casey Hill might even be faster. But the Gators have plenty of athleticism through all the positions. Devin Robinson and Justin Leon are the two best three-point shooters on the team, and they're both 6'8". The Gators have plenty of length.
Yeah.
Kavarius Hayes, who has filled in for the injured John Egbunu, 6'9", plenty of athleticism, can switch the pick and roll. So South Carolina's going to have a tough time matching up. Mike Kotsar was talking today about how he and Chris Silver are going to have to defend on the wing, something they didn't have to do against Baylor, against Jonathan Motley.
Yeah, so, the Gamecocks are familiar with the Gators, an SEC opponent, but, everything's different. This is March, so anything can happen.
Just like South Carolina, Coach Mike White has the Gators locked in on their opponent, ready to go for this Elite Eight matchup. For Gamecock Student Media, I'm Adam Warfinger.
And I'm Claudia Chakamian, and we'll see you right back here on Sunday.